This is a Hoover Windtunnel 2 bagless upright. I picked this up last month at a Goodwill. It was one of the outlet stores where they throw everything into bins and you pay per the weight, and then if it surpasses a certain weight, you just pay a flat price. So it was only $5. This vacuum probably will be going into another collector, as I really don't have any use for it, nor do I really care for it all that much, other than the fact that it's just an unusual vacuum. And it's unusual because if you didn't already know the history behind these vacuums, it has a self-cleaning quote-unquote HEPA filter, which is right there. But I can't really get it to work properly. It will spin a little bit, but I think there's just too much dust still stuck in that filter for it to rotate properly. I took about a half an hour to vacuum it with a crevice tool on a filter queen, and even after spending about a half an hour continuously vacuuming it off and rotating it by hand underneath where the filter is, I still didn't get it completely clean. So I think in order for it to work properly, it probably would have to be completely disassembled, but it's not something I'm sure if I really want to do, because there are a lot of screws and I don't want to mess up anything and then have it just not work at all when I put it back together. It had absolutely no suction through the hose when I got it, and I was able to determine that that was pretty much because of the clogged filter. After I cleaned the filter, I would say I did restore some of the suction power. It's still not great, but now I would say it's right about adequate. These were not cheap vacuums. This was probably about $300 or $400 when it was new back in about 2007, 2008. And we can take a look behind here quick to see exactly when it was made. So it was made, actually it's a little bit older than that. So this one was actually made in June of 2006. It was made in Mexico, and it's interesting that they list Hoover's headquarters as Newton, Iowa. This Hoover was pretty much made in the transitional period, the time between Hoover being owned by Maytag and being taken over by TTI. So I'm going to assume that's why it says Newton, Iowa as their headquarters. So this was made at kind of a weird period in Hoover, kind of in between owners at this point. As it is a wind tunnel, it does have the wind tunnel suction channel at the base of the machine. This one is the white and red color scheme. There were multiple ones, I think green and blue as well. This is actually a lower end model, so according to some vacuum collector friends of mine, they had at least a higher end version that had an electronic height adjustment control dial right here. This one just has a big power switch with the manual height adjustment. Being that this is a more basic model and there's less circuit boards on it, I'm gonna guess that's probably one of the reasons why this vacuum is still working. I find it hard to believe that too many of these would still be around working had it had that circuit board feature. And other than that, I mean, they are interesting vacuums. I think just really because of how unusual they look, and it's got the self-cleaning HEPA filter. They do clean very well on carpet, at least. The brush roll agitates nicely, and it's got a lot of weight in the nozzle, which causes the vacuum to really dig into the carpet. Suction power, like I said, is not that extraordinary. It does have a telescopic wand, which is a nice feature. You can see that there's been tape in the past on the top of the wand and the cap right here has broken off. So condition wise, it's not perfect. It does have a post motor filter, which is basically a flat felt filter like a lot of bagless Hoovers had at this time, which I washed. It does have a little bit of bearing noise, and that's most likely from the fine dust that probably has penetrated the motor compartment on this machine. It doesn't sound terrible, but you can definitely tell that a little bit of dust has gone through the motor on this. So we will give it a quick run after I plug it in. I don't know how many videos there are of this on YouTube. I'm sure there's a few other videos at least, but always interesting to try out an unusual machine. I guess it's on as high as it goes. And I guess that's a good setting for it. I forget if this wand extends. Let me put this down for a minute. It does. I will say that is a nice feature. So this wand actually extends, and we'll actually pull this out for a minute so you can see it. It's easy to see why they did this, because this vacuum was in the same price range as a Dyson, so having this hose not only makes it a little more competitive with one, but it's just, in my opinion, a nice feature to have. It only has one tool. There's a crevice tool right there, but it would have come originally with a few more tools. I take that back. It's got that turbo tool, but it's missing the dusting and upholstery brushes that would have come on the machine originally. We can test the suction first before we use it on carpet, so let's do that quick. So, another thing I discovered is since I've cleaned the filter, it's already lost most of its suction already, and it's literally only ever been used on this rug, which wasn't that dirty. So I guess that tells you a lot about the functionality and the design behind this machine. And I don't know if you saw that filter is not rotating at all now. So this vacuum really is a big plastic piece of junk. I really only got it because for one reason or another, a lot of collectors like these just for their weird factor. And it's kind of a shame because it does clean carpet pretty well, except now it's not really going to do very much because it's almost completely clogged again. We can take this out quick, and yeah, I mean, dust flying everywhere. Look at all that dust. And it's got this dust cup, and it's not even really like a cyclone. It's kind of almost shaped like one, but not quite. So the dust kind of just tosses around in there, but it doesn't really spin. And you can see if I start to rotate this, yeah, all that crap is falling out. So I'm gonna have to take another vacuum to clean. Yeah, look, there's dust flying everywhere now. Nasty, nasty, nasty. But anyway, that is the Hoover Windtunnel 2, and I hope you enjoyed the video.